Choosing the right financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you can make. After all, you're putting your future, to a large degree, in someone else's hands. Jay and Brittany Hagee have Alon Planning Partners, and they love walking alongside their clients, so they're here this morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Julie.
You're also football fans, so you thought you're going to make the theme coaches, right?
That's right. You know, we've seen the Olympics just take place, and we've seen a lot of awesome athletes do their thing, and we're going into this weekend's college football, and then the NFL season starting. And, you know, we've thought about this for a while. Like, these folks have amazing ability, potential. They have physical attributes that make them great athletes, but they all need a coach. They all need a coach. And why is that? A lot of times it's because the coach offers perspective that they can't see. It's about guarding your backside, right? And seeing things that maybe a different way or a different angle. And that's what we do for folks every day that have maybe come into a place in their life where they have saved well, they've invested well, they've done a really good job getting to the point of maybe retirement, but you need a coach to get you to that next level.
You also need an encourager, right? I mean, that's also part of what a coach is that right?
A cheerleader, somebody to help you know, hey, you're doing a great job, keep going, stay the course.
Right.
Or, hey, let's make some tweaks here. I think the perspective piece is so important when you're talking about a coach. I mean, we got the opportunity to sit down with a Pro Football Hall of Famer this past week and talking with him about his experience with coaches and how vital that role was in his career, in his life. And there's just so many similarities to the same thing with financial planning.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about where we are though, because this is not a time where it's cheap to live.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, it's just not. And the best laid plans don't always end up at the finish line the way you're hoping for, because the grocery bills are going up and up and everything's expensive. So there are people watching who are thinking, yeah, it sounds good in my fairy tale world, but I don't have 2 nickels to rub together right now.
And we get it. Like, inflation's been out of control. It's expensive just to live, right? Groceries and food expenses are really high. So, you know, we try to coach people from where they're at. It's a very individualistic approach, and that's why you have to have the right coach. You have to have someone who is a fiduciary, meaning they only work for you, and they're independent. They're not working for a big bank or a brokerage house. They're not trying to sell you something. They're trying to put a plan. We try to put a plan together for everyone who walks in that's individual to them. And everyone is going to have different circumstances, right? And so whether you're at a place where you feel like, man, I don't have 2 nickels to rub together, or I've saved a little bit, I don't want to lose it, right? I don't want it to be eroded by inflation, or I don't want to lose it to market volatility because of the election year that we're in. You need a coach to help give you perspective on where you're at right now and how to actually get to the next level.
And the way we kind of communicate that is by starting with what's in your hands. What do you have? What do you have to work with? How do you make the most of what you have? That's the goal for each client.
And what is your most important thing? And that changes depending on where you are in your life. I always think about the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
And the famous scene where they're so happy because they end the day on the day of the crash, and Jimmy Stewart still has like $1 or $2.
They still have money.
But you had the money to cover the needs.
That's right.
And sometimes that's where life takes you.
And sometimes that's all we have, right? And so we want to make sure no matter where you're at, that you have what you need to sustain your lifestyle, right? And it's goal-based planning. What we do is to make sure, where are you at? What goal do you have? How do we best get you to that goal? Because no matter if you've done really well even and saved a lot of money, a different perspective on how to enter your retirement years maybe and go from accumulation mode to distribution mode, you need a coach to help you along the way, because you may have done this money thing for 40 years, right? And done really well in accumulation, but how do I make sure I don't fall off that cliff that I've walked this mountain up? I don't want to just fall off. I want to make sure I have a smooth ride down. And so that's what we help with.
Tell me if I'm right in this with y'all, Brittany. So you mentioned retirement earlier, but y'all don't wait until people are at retirement. So there are a lot of young people, even in their 30s, who are thinking, man, this economy does not work for me. Will I ever have a house? Will I? So if they're young, can they also counsel with you?
Yes, please get started early. That's what we want folks to hear. Get started early in this process, planning, saving, preparing for your future. It's never too early, it's never too late, but the sooner the better. So no matter what stage of life folks are in, a coach, the right coach, is so pivotal in their financial life.
So as part of what y'all end up doing, say in the course of a day, 6 clients come in.
Sure.
Okay.
And let's just imagine that they're all 35 years old for this particular argument.
Okay.
One single, one has two have 3 kids. You get the whole idea. They may all have different wants for their money.
That's right.
Is that correct?
Yep, different
Absolutely.
goals, different assets, different income, different expenses. It really does vary from individual to individual, which is why we take this customized approach.
Right.
It's not this cookie cutter plan that we say, hey, this is for you, and it's
That's
the same thing for everyone.
Right.
It's very individualized based on the family's goals, because just like a good coach, it's their goal to set the athlete up for success.
Right.
That's how it is with us. We want to set you up for success.
Also, a good coach sees the untapped potential in an athlete. So you may have clients come to you wanting a certain thing, but do y'all ever see even more for them than they see?
That is where perspective matters the most, right? Because we do this every day, all day, for a number of different clients in different positions. So we have seen things a lot of times that folks coming in may have not seen, and we're able to shine a new light of perspective onto their situation and say, hey, you're doing a great job here, but have you thought about doing this way? Maybe it's a spending plan tweak. Maybe it's something like as easy as, you could save a couple more dollars by doing this versus that, right? And so we really do take a customized approach to make sure that folks are hitting their financial goals.
Do you ever have people come to you? I mean, over time, they get to know you and you know them. So you kind of understand who they are. If they want to try something and you feel very strongly that it's not the best idea for them, do you say, though, well, let's try it your way and see, you might be right? Or do you try really hard to not?
I mean, we are open-minded too, right? So we want to make sure it's not just a plan that is optimal, it's a plan that you'll stick to. Because if I'm a dietitian and I tell you, okay, it's best that you just eat rice, grilled chicken and broccoli for every meal, that's optimal. You're gonna be the most healthy, you're gonna feel the best, but you never get chocolate cake.
Right.
Okay, the same thing with your finances. You're probably not going to stick to that diet plan if you don't get a little chocolate cake every now and then, or whatever you may like. Right. So we have to say, here's the optimal situation for your finances.
Right.
And if we need some tweaks, or there's something that you just want to try, let's do it with this portion, or this bucket of money, or this way, right? And so that we can actually get folks to where they want to be, and maybe enjoy it along the way too.
It was an unframed question, but it kind of spoke to the partnership that you want to have. That's why it's Alon Planning Partners.
Correct.
You're not dictators.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
We really do come alongside folks, and that's our goal, is to truly partner with people to help them get to where they want to be, help them reach their financial goals.
It all can start with a phone call. Here's their phone number. It's Alon Planning Partners, 315-1441. You can also go online at alonplanning.com. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.